All right, I think I can do this. I'm not really sure if yes. I have started streaming. Now I need to find my video. Now I need to like find my live video. Now I need to find my and get this on the announcement center. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be the live game and review. It's going to be the first one I'm going to do. I'm not going to be able to answer questions. Really not going to be able to answer questions. That's a weird approach. I actually don't know how to answer that. But that's a really weird approach. You would usually approach from this side. This approach is a little low. I'm going to pincer to see what he does. I've never had someone approach me like that. I think the safer one would just be to jump, and I'm going to jump as well. I'm also going to do a pincer from this specific side. I'm also going to pincer from this specific side because it induces like a little bit of like more actionist play. And that actually will maybe induce more mistakes as well. So there's like more teaching material if I do this. I think realistically, I think if I were playing, I would probably do like a. I think if I were playing realistically, I would do like a bigger pincer for the most part, and see what that actually does. If I do that, I mean, I could try to do this, but that would actually lead to some trouble. So I don't really want to fight that yet. I'm going to keep jumping out. I am glad to actually take the bottom territory. There are actually a lot of problems with the bottom territory, honestly, but I am more than willing to take the bottom territory. I've never had a game start out this way. I've also burned through a lot of time just setting up my stream, but I am definitely more than happy to actually stream this way. You know, like doing this, I'm probably going to run out of time sooner or later because I'm not like, I don't think I'm concentrating quite enough. I was actually sort of waiting for him to do that. I'm going to connect on this side. I think like that side might have actually been better. The wedge here doesn't really work. The wedge really doesn't work here. He could actually get this, but it would give me the bottom two stones, which, like I said, I think I should have... Ooh, that's a really, really bad move. If you're going to wedge, you have to extend this stone. Letting me take this essentially solves all my problems. And you have to answer me here now. Because if you don't answer here, that's going to give a lot of problems for you. So yeah, if like there are actually certain conditions, like for instance, like reverses where you would actually sacrifice this particular stone, but this is definitely not one of those positions. That actually is a huge mistake because it makes me a lot stronger. If you like wedge here, I would just go this way. So that's a pretty big mistake by him. Like, see, now that's kind of like Gote. And since that's actually Gote, it gives me the edge in actually attacking him, which I'm actually going to do now. Here, I'm going to come over the top. That is the expected move. And then I would go here. See, I am not like going crazy trying to kill his group. I'm not going crazy trying to kill his group. I'm okay with getting... I'm actually okay with getting some bottom territory as well. Just on this group. I also have the option to go underneath, which is actually a pretty good option, but I'm actually going to pincer this first. I have given him kind of a wall over here, though. That's also kind of an odd move. And not necessarily a good one. I don't think he has enough liberties to fight this. Yeah, that's really his loss. He does not have enough liberties to actually fight me. See, like, this gets rid of all the Agi on the corner. I'm just going to kill him. This gets rid of all the Agi on the side over here. And essentially, I'm just using attacking this group, not so much to kill this group. That's also, like, fixing some of my problems. But I'm not really trying to kill this group right now. That's not a thing. But I'm not really trying to kill the group right now at this point. Definitely not trying to kill the group right now. Well, at least I wasn't planning to kill the group right now. I'm actually just going to... I don't think I can kill this. So I'm basically going to go here and see what he does. Now, regularly, in a regular game, I wouldn't actually go here, because I don't think, like, there's an eye right here. Like, legitimately, there's an eye right here, and probably an eye down here, so I don't think I would be able to kill him. But I want him to make, yeah, like, damaging moves like this. I really want him to make damaging moves like this. Now, this is Sente for him. He should just go somewhere else, because I can't actually kill him right now. That's not a good move. I'm just going to ignore that and go over here. That could be pretty damaging, but I got my corner already. I already got my corner, and I got Sente, and I got some influence on the outside. So that's actually fine. I played badly down here because I shouldn't have actually answered down here. But I already got the territory on the corner. That move puts him in a really tough position. Yeah, that's not a great move, I have to say. It's really not that great of a move. I don't know if I'm just going to take it. And if he Ataris, I am going to extend out here. Because, like, if I connect, he still has some uses of this stone here. It's not bad, but I'm actually going to extend 3 over here, just in case. I'm not playing ultra aggressively. I'm not really playing ultra aggressively this game, because I don't really need to. I think I'm fairly far ahead at this point, because I already have this corner over here. Like, I could I could definitely invade, start random fights, and take a much bigger lead. But the thing is, I don't really see a point to that right now. If you're ahead, you should just take your win for the most part. I think the smartest move would actually be to invade the 3-3 right here, right now. Or, like, invade somewhere in here. I'm not exactly sure where he would invade. This actually might be, like, a good first move, honestly. Coming out, this actually would be a pretty good first move, because it gives me an extra cutting point. Okay. That is a move that a lot of people learn off Katago, and yes, he can actually live the corner right there. If you play this right, the corner is actually alive. I'm actually going to just go on this side. It's a tough choice. I think I can do this. I'm not 100% sure. I think so. I think his liberties are tight enough to where I can do this. He can actually just connect over the bottom. That's fine. Not really sure about this move, actually. Yeah, his liberties are a little too tight for him to actually do this. See, now he's got 2 cutting points, and this corner group's already dead, so he didn't actually calculate the... I'm going to cut here first. He didn't actually calculate the liberties correctly.
You have won.
Okay, so this particular like combination, like this group is already dead in here. So this invasion was obviously really bad. This invasion was obviously pretty. This move was actually pretty bad, and I have 5 liberties here. He only has 3, so he actually has to jump. He actually has to. He actually has to jump out or something. This is one of those cases where you could possibly do this, and see like what he actually does. I'm not really sure if this, I don't think this actually works, because I don't think he can extend 5 liberties in here. So essentially, because he didn't actually calculate the liberties right, this is actually dead. And this is actually dead in here. Although you could possibly use this to try to make this alive, but I think it's still dead. So that's actually just a bad invasion. So the thing is, like, with Kata Go, like, Kata actually does this very, very often. That invasion doesn't work, but you can just double Hane here, and I can't really do anything to your double Hane. I really can't, because you have this Atari here, so I would actually have to do this, and you can actually just do this. And obviously that gets you the points down here, but then I'm just going to jump up here and try to grab these points. And I am going to be significantly ahead if I actually do this, because all you have is down here, maybe in here, and this isn't even solidified because I have this extension down here, which I actually didn't need to do. And then like I have a lot more territory in here. This invasion here would be kind of difficult now because I'm strong. You could do this, and I would probably just do this and let you kind of have that. Or, I mean, if you did that, I guess you could try doing this. But then, like, that wouldn't really work because I would do this. You could do this, and then you could possibly do this, and I would actually do this. And then, like, taking this is fine because that's Sente, and you have a decent corner here. But overall, I have this corner here, and I just have a lot more potential here. So white would be actually way, way ahead here. But he actually made a lot of mistakes this game. And like I said, usually, like, I wouldn't actually play, I really wouldn't play this way against, like, another one Dan, because I think it's a risky play it's actually a risky play to do this. Like, if in a regular, like, if someone invaded like this regularly, I don't actually know what I would do. I would actually just do this. I would actually just do this and see how he responds. Because I would solidify my base, and I mean, you could do something like this, but I think this is just better for white, plus I get the Sente. You could do this, but then again, I would just ignore you and do something like this. So I feel like my 2 stones here are more efficient than your 2 stones here. So that's why, like, I don't actually think this is a very good approach. You either do this approach or this approach. Those are the 2 standard approaches. Obviously, if you do this, I'm just going to do this. And this is pretty equal, Joseki. If you actually do this, I might just do this and let you do this. And that's also a pretty even Joseki. That's like if I were playing an even game against another 1 or 2 Dan, this is actually how I would play. This approach, I feel like this approach is just too low. And if I do this, I think, like, you don't really have a good answer. You could do, and if you do this, I'm just probably not going to answer you because this is always Sente here. This is always Sente. So, like, I'm not worried about this group actually being alive or dead. So I'm just going to ignore you and go here. And I think that ends up slightly better for white. As you can see on Katago's recommendation, I actually lose a few points by doing this. But I wanted to see, like, how he would respond. So he jumps, I jump. He does this, I jump. He jumps again. There is always kind of like this option to go under, but right now, that's like this, letting him take this, I think is like too big. Like, I don't want him to take like a flower kind of like thing in the center, because that gives him a lot of influence. And I do get territory here, but I just, like, I don't like people taking that. But that is actually an option. That is actually an option for me. When he does this, I can actually go on top. He can do this, but, you know, like, this generally isn't good. He can't do that because I can just come in here. No, does that work? No, that doesn't actually work. Sorry. Like, I can go out here. So the thing is, like, Yeah, the thing is, like, it doesn't necessarily work if he actually does that. Even if he gets this, like, letting me do this probably isn't that great. I get, like, so much influence on the side, and plus the corner is still kind of mine. So this is not very, to me, this is not very good for black. So, like, he could possibly try to do something like this, but it's not very beneficial to him. And I think this is the way you would actually, or you could try doing this, but this is kind of like, this is really iffy. Like, I actually don't know who wins this, but that's actually really iffy. But yeah, like, just kind of like doing this is not good for him. It is not that great for black. He does get the bottom territory, but the corner is still yours, and you get so much influence out here. So we just do the traditional, like, I jump, he jumps, I jump, he jumps. I was actually here. I was seriously consider doing this and see how he and seeing what he actually does. I was really considering this. But I mean, like, that's not the play. And also, like, if I do this, if I do come here and he does this, like, right now, sacrificing these 2 stones would be a little too much for me. If I do this, it is a fight, but I'm not that confident in this fight. I think, like, since I have the Sente, I would probably win. I mean, since I have the Sente, I might actually win. I don't, like, since I have the Sente, I might actually win. This isn't, like, that great for me because I would lose that. But, I mean, I might actually win this Liberties fight just by something like this. But he also has a lot of liberties, and I can't really calculate who actually wins this fight. He actually might be ahead by a couple of liberties, so I didn't really want to do that. So I kept on jumping, and his best move is actually to move here. Now, if he actually did that, I would have definitely tried to attack this group. But I think he followed jumping. Oh, he does this, which is actually a mistake, because if he obviously should have extended the stone. I would have connected here, and then I would have traded this. Now, yes, it is pretty big for him to take this and the influence outside, but he's giving up a lot of points here by doing that. So I don't think that would actually favor him very much. I don't think, like, he would want to do that. And plus, like, I do get Sente here, and I would actually be able to just try to invade here. But this is actually really big for black, but he does give up a lot of territory on the corner. So he can't actually do that on this side. So this is why this wedge doesn't actually work, because obviously that's a huge mistake. But if you're going to wedge, if you're going to wedge, you've already decided that basically if you wedge, you basically already decided that I'm going to sacrifice these 2 in exchange for the influence on top. That's what you've actually already decided if you're going to actually wedge, because otherwise, like, there's really no other way to go. Like, if you connect, I take this, that's a huge loss for you. Yes, you do have to connect. That gives me Sente. It does make me quite a bit stronger, and it actually lets me attack you. I might have been able to kill him just by doing this, but, you know, he can do things like this. But doing things like this, I'd be perfectly happy with because I get a lot of territory on the bottom. He could try to attack me out here, which he probably would do. He could definitely try to attack this group, which he probably would do, but, like, his group isn't all that strong either. So there's definite, like, caveats to that. So if you wedge, you cannot let someone take this stone, obviously. I'm going to come over top. I might have been better off just doing this, honestly, just attacking him from the top, and maybe, like, just getting the territory down here. But I decided to come over top, be a little more forceful. I take the territory. I could have also done this and done this instead, but I definitely felt like the knight's move was better. He does this, I'm going to come out. He does this, I'm going to come out more. Give me a little bit more influence here. He does that. I'm going to pincer because it also kind of, like, helps my corner over here. That's a weird move. I don't like that move for black because I don't think black actually wins this fight. So, like, black really doesn't win this fight. Even if I do this, and he does, like, this, like, this is not really that good for him, because if he just does this, I can come out this way. And now he's kind of screwed, because he has to sacrifice at least one of these two pieces. I mean, if he does this, I can just basically kill him. I mean, I can at least do this. He could possibly do something like this, but this is, I think it's still kind of, yeah, there's not a way he can actually live. So, or like this. There's not really, I don't think there's much of a way he can actually live. So he would actually have to sacrifice one of these two pieces if I do that. And obviously, if he chooses the latter to actually live down here, I can just do this and kill this. So this is not actually like this is not a good deal for him. There is actually this. There is actually this going downward though, and he could try to plow through this. But if he does this, I can do this first, and just take this in the center, which is easily good enough for me right now, because this makes me really thick, and it is a lot of points. And plus, like, I would probably answer this I would definitely answer this first. So this move would actually be pretty killer. This move would actually be really killer because it divides these two groups and it forces him to actually pick one of these groups. So like, that's not like, even if I did that, that wasn't good. I took the easier way, just do this. You're not going to win this because, you know, if he did this, it might actually get pretty interesting. If he actually did this, it would get pretty interesting because the thing is, like, you're kind of putting this group at, you're definitely putting that group kind of like at ends if you do that. But this is actually a pretty interesting fight, which he actually didn't opt to. He did not actually opt to take. That I think he wins. So no, he actually doesn't win that. So like, I could kind of do this as well. I could opt for this move. He would have to do this. I would do this, and then I could actually do this. If he disconnects, I do this. Yeah, like, I'm one ahead this way. And let me actually just play the rest of this out to make sure. If he does this, I do this. He does this. Yeah, I'm still one ahead this way. So that doesn't actually work out for him either. So this is actually not a good invasion spot. And plus, what ends up happening is you take away much better invasion spots like this in the future once you do that. So essentially, like, when you're really thick up here, there's actually like Aji down here. But after you do this and you kind of like solidify it, there's no more Aji down here. So I just get this territory permanently. Now I just played badly in this attack. I do this. That strengthens me a little bit too. He does this. That's actually most likely unnecessary. So when he does this, I should just play elsewhere, because there's nothing he can do over here. When he does that, I should definitely just play elsewhere. So, because there's really nothing here. If he pushes, I can just kind of, if he honestly pushes, I can just like do this if I really need to, because this would actually be problematic for me right now. So I can actually just like fall back and do this if he actually pushes. So that's not a big deal. I should have just like gone elsewhere. I did this. This you probably just block. But he's trying to live down here. I don't think he actually had to answer that, but that's just my opinion. And also, like, if I was trying to kill him, you know what I should have done? I should have just done this or something and see what he actually does. 'Cause technically, like, he's not actually alive here. So I probably should have just done that. But I don't know why I did this. This is not actually that. This is a kind of a pointless move. It gives me, yes, it does give me leeway in here, but this is kind of a pointless move. He does that, which solidifies this I. I'm going to just connect just to make sure I get that. He does this. Now, I'm actually waiting for him to do stuff like this, because this trade with this is obviously beneficial for me. It builds me up way more than it actually like, it builds me up, and that's worth more to me than just like one I for him. So he does that. I'm going to ignore that. I was actually thinking of doing this just to solidify my Moyo, but I think this move right now is more important for me. Here, since you already are very strong here, I would definitely pincer. I would definitely pincer here probably. I mean, it does not favor this stone very much. Here, if you pincer, I would probably do this. But the thing is, like, these three stones just don't really feel very good. I would definitely pincer with this. At least I would do something like this and essentially grab some of this territory. Or maybe at this point, I would actually do something like this. Like, I would do that and then pincer this, because these three stones are alive. It's really strong over here. So these three stones would actually struggle. So I think, like, since black is like really, really strong over here, you definitely have to attack this white one. So you would either do the tuck under and then pincer here, or you would just directly pincer here. Which one you do is kind of up to you and how your reading is. So he does this. Letting me tuck under essentially lets me settle. That's obviously a bad move because it makes me a lot stronger. Like here, if you try to pincer me, I can just settle like this pretty easily. If you do this, I'm going to ignore you and just come out here. So that basically lets me settle. He does this. I'm going to just settle this. And then that's actually not a very big move. Like this, if it were me, I would either just go over here or come here. One of those two. Because this isn't that many points, and you're not threatening my group anymore. You're not really threatening my group anymore. If you do this, I'm just going to go on top. There's not much, like, you can try to build the Moyo up here, but there's not too many points up here. And plus, like, this move essentially, like, makes me alive. So this move's not threatening, and it's not worth that many points. I'm going to do this. Now, if it were me, I would do this. I'm going to tell you why. Because, yes, I could actually potentially, I would take the corner. I would actually take the corner here, but you doing this, I only get the corner, and you break my Moyo over here as well. So I would actually pincer that way, because this makes, like, this kind of like makes your Moyo, and it breaks my Moyo. So that would actually be my choice of, you either pincer here or you pincer here. I would definitely take one of the two pincer moves. I would not do that. Yeah, it solidifies your corner, but it lets me build my shape way too much. By the way, this move is actually not bad. This move is actually not bad. Yes, it looks like you're giving me a stone, but that's a pretty big weak cunning point, and you can always do something like this later. So that move honestly is not bad. You can make this move first, because I can't threaten you. This is alive anyways. You would make that move. You would definitely make that move first, and then maybe like put in a corner move. Because if you actually have that move first, it makes the invasion a lot different. And yes, if you do this, I'm going to automatically do this. There's no other answer. So he invades here. So I do this. Now think about if this move was actually traded. That would make it completely different. Because this is automatically an Atari. Now I can't do what I actually did. So that's why you trade this move first. Because if you're going to invade, you know, like, if you're going to invade, this is going to be a helpful move, and you know basically how White's going to respond. White's essentially going to do this for the most part. I mean, I guess he could do this, but I think like most White players will pretty much instinctively do this. And it looks like you're feeding him a stone, but it makes your invasion here so different. And plus, like, this stone traded with this stone is generally good for Black. It does lessen his Moyo, and it doesn't really, I mean, like, it does make White a little bit weaker, in my opinion. So, like, you would definitely do this before doing that. I do this. Obviously, this is like his mistake. Like I said, you wouldn't do this. You would just double Hane. I can't do this, obviously, because it's a double Atari here. So I would have to connect, and then you could just do this. Now, I mean, like, White is still ahead in terms of like points here, because I would just probably do something like this and do this. So White's still significantly ahead, but you don't lose the corner group. So like that's in that shape, that's how that's supposed to be played. So that's going to end that's going to end this kind of like teaching segment. I hope you guys have learned something from this teaching segment. And I will look forward to actually playing more of you guys in the future. If you actually want to play me, just like send me a message on, if you're like 8 to 12K and you want to play me, send me a message on OGS, and maybe we'll be able to set up a game sometime. I usually do play in the evening or at night. So that's going to be it for today. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys